happened in his cabinet. I think it's time for New York City to have a change.
Because of ranked choice voting and multiple rounds of counting that will likely have to take place, political experts say it could be weeks before an official winner is declared. As a reminder, polls put...
Does Adams have a chance? No. No, this race is between Andrew Cuomo and Zoran Mamdani, okay? And it's going to be a close one, I think, judging by what I've seen in the polls. But I truly don't fucking know because I just don't know, man. I don't know. Because, like, people are just fucking taking a hit of methamphetamine before going to the polls, you know? Like, honestly, I think people just smoke crack before they vote. They're like, oh, I'm accidentally here. I was just doing crack. Let me go vote for fucking Anthony Cuomo. What's his name? Adam Cuomo? Yeah, that guy. I recognize his last name. He was, what was he, the previous mayor or something?
Close this evening at 9 p.m. Reporting live from Morningside Heights, Christina Fan, CBS News, New York.
Christina, if Cuomo becomes mayor, would anything about him being an improvement over Adams? It seemed like a lateral move at best, if not a downgrade. No, it is a downgrade. It is a fucking downgrade, even from Adams, because Adams at least is like kind of fucking funny. Andrew Cuomo is literally more corrupt than Eric Adams. It's kind of crazy to think.
Emily Ratajkowski and
Mamdani.
It's election day today. You need to get to the polls. They're open till 9 p.m. What else do they need to know?
Go to surroundfornyc.com/vote. You can find out where your poll site is. You can text your friends and family because we need everybody to come out. And make sure you're drinking water because it's very hot.
This election is going to be decided by young voters, the average New Yorker.
We stand on the verge of a victory that will resonate across the country and the world. Make no mistake, this victory will be historic, not just because of who I am, a Muslim immigrant and a proud democratic socialist, but for what we will do. Make this city affordable for everyone. Because after this rally, as many of us sleep, millions of our neighbors will step out onto moonlit streets across our city. Nurses working...
I think about this a lot, but I fear that if Cuomo still ends up sleepwalking into a fucking marginal victory here, it's so fucking similar to the Bernie Sanders primaries in 2019 and 2020, where it's just like the Democratic Party's primary function is to assassinate the hopes and dreams of the next generation. Any kind of additional pickup that they can get of people who just engage in like harm reduction narratives and like marginally better voting, they'll be fine with that. They are totally capable of shredding their fucking base of support every step of the way. They do not care about hopes. They want to eliminate hope. This will hurt us on, but to be fair, the 2019 primary was sort of an end of history moment in a microwave, but kind of massive compared to everything else. 2020 Nevada primary is the moment of maximum hope that I had. Okay, young buck pulled together an IRL backpack, was ready to go on the campaign trail following Bernie Sanders, and then the 2020 Nevada primaries happened. Leading up to the Nevada primary, everyone was like, the unions are all backing was it Joe Biden? No, what was it? The unions were just not backing. It wasn't even Joe Biden. The unions are not backing Bernie Sanders. They're backing, establishment Democrats or whatever. Okay? It was Pete Buttigieg or something, I think, at the time. And I remember being like, this is not true because I know the rank and file is on board with Bernie and his message. Okay? And we were right. We were fucking right. And Bernie wins after endless amounts of propaganda that he was going to lose in the fucking Nevada primaries. And there was just like so much hope. I remember door knocking and seeing so many people be like, oh, I like that guy Bernie. What's a primary? I hope he wins. It's like, bro, it's happening today. Why don't you go out? I don't have time. I don't feel like it. And then COVID. And then Super Tuesday. And then I watch all of my dreams perish in front of my eyes. Everything falls apart. And we're stuck with this fucking decrepit old ass monster. The Jim Clyburn rat fuck. What you're seeing with Zoran is a microcosm of that. I don't know, maybe you were too young to remember the Bernie situation, but it is exactly the same, but it's happening in a much shorter period of time where everybody goes, all systems go, time to fucking post endlessly negatively about Zoran. His socialism's scary. His bitches ain't too bad. His weed ain't loud at all. Okay, his smoke is not loud. If Zoran Mamdani wins, they're gonna assassinate every Jewish person in New York City, and they're gonna assassinate every fucking hedge fund manager side by side. They said the same shit about Bernie. Eric made the video. Oh, this one? Yeah. Hell yeah. Hassan Ibe heads are all over this campaign, man. They're fucking cooking.
The night shift will put on their scrubs and save lives. Office buildings will be made new again as the midnight shift scrubs and polishes in the dark. And even more, New Yorkers will spend the entire night tirelessly working and return home carrying the burden that it still isn't enough. If New York truly is the city that never sleeps, we deserve a mayor who fights for those of us who labor at every single hour of the day. I will be that mayor.
Chris Matthews went on MSNBC and said, Bernie has a coalition of brown shirts, referring to Bernie bros, people like myself. We were brown shirts. Like he said, Bernie was a Nazi. Okay, Bernie, the old Jewish man running for the Democratic Party's presidential candidacy in the primaries, was called a fucking Nazi. Said his fans are brown shirts. And then on top of that, Chris Matthews said that if Bernie Sanders wins, he will assassinate people like him in Central Park. Like he'll round up every wealthy person in Central Park. And he said that unironically, like he just straight up, he meant it, bro. He was like, if Bernie Sanders wins, I mean, I'm sure someone has the video.
Going on here, and is this any way to pick a nominee?
Well, I don't think so, but it is the way we're picking this one, and it looks like Bernie Sanders is hard to beat right now. I'm with Carville all the way in terms of the dangers of what lies ahead in November. I'm very much aware of them. They're sitting on so much Oppo research on Bernie, what he said in the past.
They do say kill the rich, so maybe, yeah, Bernie Sanders says kill the rich. In your fucking fantasies, right? This is the problem with American politics. Like, you had just half of the fucking voting, half of the voting population is just schizophrenic, and you just have to deal with that. You know what I mean? Like, you just have to deal with the psychotic hallucinations of half of the fucking voter base in any race. Okay? Straight up, like, they will just imagine something happening, and then you have to deal with that. It's like, but that's your paranoid fantasy, man. What do you mean? That's just not real, you
It's
know?
about world affairs, how far left he is. I'm not sure how far left he is, but they're going to make the most of that in terms of world politics. They're going to kill him. But I think it's a little late to stop him, and I think that's the problem. By the way, if you look at the pattern, it's dynamic. Bernie won the popular vote in Iowa. He won it again in New Hampshire. It looks like he's going to win it here when they finally get a vote. Bernie's been winning consistently, and I think it's mathematically understandable. Every time we poll, every time Steve and everybody polls, 2/3 of the Democratic vote, 2/3 of people who call themselves Democrats are either liberal or very liberal. All Bernie ever had to do, and he's done it beautifully, is get a majority of that, and he's up to the mid-30s. If you get half of 67, you're into the mid-30s, and that's where he's gotten it a little better. Biden, his only prayer was to consolidate the third of the vote that's moderate and conservative. And he got nowhere near clearing that field, nowhere near. That's split up 4 ways now. And so with new people coming in, Deval Patrick came in, he didn't make it. Bloomberg is in, he's probably going to survive a bit longer because of his money. But that field wasn't cleared. The only way Biden could win in that 1/3 of the vote that's either moderate or conservative is to sweep it. He got nowhere near. Bernie, on the other hand, did his job. He got more than a majority. I think this is going to be very frustrating for pundits, very frustrating for media consultants and everyone who's trying to figure this out logically. Bernie Sanders is walking away with it. He's doing it now. He's probably going to win his third contest today, big time.
The happiest person right now, it's about 1:15 Moscow time. This thing is going very well for Vladimir Putin. I promise you. He's probably staying up watching us right now. How you doing, Vlad?
That's absolutely right. And
I'm wondering whether the Democratic moderates want Bernie Sanders to be president. I mean, that's maybe too exciting a question to raise. They don't like Trump at all. Do they want Bernie Sanders to take over the Democratic Party in perpetuity?
Largely people of color. Of those, the majority are Latino, and they are clearly, at least from eyeballing it, strongly in favor of Bernie Sanders, with Joe Biden coming in second.
No one.
I was there, bro. I was there. I was fucking there. I watched it happen. You don't understand. You don't understand. Oh my God. Is this how unks talk about like NBA in the 90s or some shit? I was there. You don't know how good Tim Duncan is. You don't know. You don't know how good Tim Duncan is. It was just like, it was Operation Rat Fuck, dude. They were losing their goddamn minds, dude. Yeah, this was what I was looking for. Like, in all sincerity, this fucking piece of shit, in all sincerity, said this.
I have my own views of the word socialist, and I'll be glad to share them with you in private. And they go back to the early 1950s. I have an attitude about them. I remember the Cold War. I have an attitude towards Castro. I believe if Castro and the Reds had won the Cold War, there would have been executions in Central Park, and I might have been one of the ones getting executed. And certain other people would be there cheering, okay? So I have a problem with people who took the other side. I don't know who Bernie supports over these years. I don't know what he means by social. 1 week it's Denmark. We're going to be like Denmark. Okay, that's harmless. That's basically a capitalist country with a lot of good social welfare programs. Denmark is harmless.
It's pretty clearly in the Denmark category, yeah.
Are you sure? How do you know? Did he tell you that?
Well, I mean, that's what he says, and that's what his agenda calls for, right?
Yeah.
He's not calling for any...
Let's see. Let's figure that one out.
But we haven't seen a campaign yet where video of him praising the other version,
right,
which is Castro, has been used.
Well, but
it will be used.
That's a question
we haven't seen how that plays out.
Of how what the effect that has.
Well, what does he think of Castro? That's a great question. What did you think of Fidel Ismo? We all thought he was great when he first. I think cheering like mad for him when he first went in, and then he became a communist and started shooting every one of his enemies.
Okay, hold those thoughts on the Cuban Revolution. I have to go back to the spin room and Democratic.
This primer in your coverage is how I became a fan and what radicalized me. I'll never forget how Warren and others rat fuck Bernie. Yeah. Obama made the boss call. God.
else is as hungry, angry, enraged, and determined as Sanders voters. Democrats need to sober up and figure out what the hell they're going to do about that.
I'm reading last night about the fall of France in the summer of 1940, and the general, Renault, calls up Churchill and says, it's over. And
Oh,